back to my channel. This is Steph with Stitching with Steph. Today we're going to do a brand new start, Stitch with Me. I called her a fairy in our previous reviews, but she doesn't have wings. So I'm just going to keep rolling with it since that's what my original video was titled. She kind of looks like a fairy. Not really sure, but that's what I'm going to call her. So if you are a subscriber, thank you for coming back for this Stitch with me this week. If you are new to the channel and you like the content that I provide and the type of items that I stitch, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Go ahead and click that bell notification so that way anytime I load a new video, you'll get notifications, as well as leave a comment of where you're watching this video from. I like to know where my subscribers and non-subscribers are watching me from. As you can see on the screen here, this particular image is a stock image. So go ahead and get your project while I get mine ready, and we'll dive right into this stitch with me. All right, friends, so I was stitching and clearly not recording. So what we're going to be doing is color 19. I already did a singular pin stitch there. And 19 is color 796, and it is this pretty blue color, as you can see. I typically do all of my recordings within like a 2 or 3 day span. So some days are better than others. Today's one of those days where I feel like I am having a hard time, A, with knotting, and B, with, as you can see, I do not know what's going on with my thread today. I'm having to like hold it with one hand and do a whole nother because I'm really, there we go. I'm really not sure what's going on. I feel like it's me, 100% me. Me, I'm the problem. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna go over to these couple of stitches here, and then I'm gonna work my way over. The part of the pattern that I'm doing is this little corner right here. So this canvas is relatively large. At the beginning of the video in the info card, I will have the specs listed. It is an 11 count. And if I remember correctly, it is, I can't remember how big it is. I know it's an 11 count for sure, because duh, I'm stitching it, right? I need to know how many threads I'm stitching. I don't remember if it says on the canvas. It's a 213 by 321. So I'll measure it, and then I'll put the info in the info card for those of you that want to know. It's been an interesting day for sure. It was bright and sunny. Now it's cloudy and kind of gray out. See, this has been happening to me all day and I've had just about enough of it. My patience have been worn thin with stitching. I don't know, this might be my last video for today because every single stitch with me today has done this. And I'm just like, IDK. I don't know what is going on, but all I know is it's starting to get to me because I feel like I'm wasting more time in my videos on doing knots than actually flippin' stitching today. And that's just, I'm not quite in that mood. I actually got fed up in one of my videos and I literally just cut the string because I was just that done. Here we go. And again, I don't understand why it's happening because I'm not going too fast. I noticed it does it more often when my threads are waxed. So I guess it's a love-hate relationship with wax today. I just need to get this little section done here. It's like, wow, it's taken 5 minutes to do 3 whole stitches and untie knots. Oh, anybody have those days where you're just like, maybe I should just walk away. But when you have a YouTube channel and you're kind of limited for time like I am between work, school, being a mom, all the things, I am limited to my filming days. So I gotta just grunt through it and keep it moving. That's just my style, to be honest. Okay. There we go. I feel like it's starting to lay a lot better. So once I'm done with this little section here, I'm gonna finish it off and then we'll bounce on over to this section because it looks like a pretty good stitching segment. There we go. As I start to manipulate the canvas a little more, the easier I can stitch on top, which is my preferred method. Stitching on top. I don't like going over under unless it's a big project. I mean, this project's relatively, I wouldn't say it's ginormous, but I would say that it's decently sized. Okay. Okay, so this is what that little section looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I'm going to go this way. And again, you do what you think is best for your closing. I mean, as you can see, I went under 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Some people, sorry if my speech is a little slurred, my needle's in my mouth. Some people will do it under through the top. I know, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen those videos. So let's go ahead and start right here. I'm going to start this. I'm going to lay this like so, grab a drink of water, and we'll be right back. All right, got a quick drink. Starting on the new section here. I'm sorry if you notice frequent breaks or I pause and pick back up. I'm trying to get better about staying hydrated. My migraines have been really bothering me recently, and one of my triggers is dehydration. So I know sometimes I don't often pay attention to myself as I should. All right. As you can see already in this corner how confetti heavy this corner is. This particular canvas is going to be confetti ridden. So if you want somebody to do some confetti with you, I'm your girl. I got lots to do. I apparently like confetti canvases. I know some people loathe it. I don't mind. I just know my projects are just going to take a little bit longer. I know some people like to do block stitching. I find that mundane, to be honest. I'm working on a project right now, Purple Geisha. I don't know if I'm stitching her this week. Let me see. No, I'm not. She's not on my stitch with me this week. But there is a corner that I'm working on, and so help me, baby Jesus. I feel like that corner is never ending. I got to the point where I literally switched to color because I was just getting so bored. I think confetti keeps me more intrigued, which is why probably my red dragon, my large red dragon, is taking me so long to finish because it's only one color. That is my mindless stitching one if I just want to stitch but not think about it. I prefer to keep my mind intrigued, so confetti works really well for me. And especially since I've learned how to do pin stitches, it's been a game changer for me. As you can see, you see how nice and sturdy those stitches stay. If you hear my computer going off in the background, it was an alert for Instagram. I apologize if that's the case. Let's see what we got here. Sorry if I'm lifting the canvas. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't get caught underneath. When you don't have a lot going on around you stitched yet, stitching on top works really well. But the more you fill in around it, you're going to be going over under a lot more. That's just something that I've picked up on through the years. So what I mean just stitching across the top is like this, just like this, where I'm not having to do over under. If I have to do a lot of over under, I'll either keep it in hand and I'll just stitch a little slower, or I'll use a Q-snap or a hoop. But so far, this method tends to work for me. I've actually met quite a few stitchers, not met, I've actually seen quite a few stitchers that do this method, surprisingly. We've just learned what works over the years, what works for you as a stitcher. Okay, bear with me, I messed that up. Kind of figured I was going to halfway through that stitch. So all I do is unthread my needle, okay? And then what I do is I use this and I back my stitch back out. I have learned, do not try to back it out with the thread. Don't think by going back through the hole, you're going to be able to fix it. Chances are you're like one thread of the canvas off, and then you're going to create a whole mess. It's just something, that's my tip of the day, I guess, is what I've learned with backing my thread back out. This is so much faster just to do it this way and pull it out versus trying to use it while it's threaded. There we go. There we go. We're back on track now. So anytime, so I'm left-handed, anytime I have to stitch backwards, which is backwards for me, where I have to stitch left. So for example, I just finished that stitch, but I'm going to the left of that. I will automatically go under, just because I don't like stitching like this. I like to keep my hands and arms pretty ergonomic, so that way my wrists don't hurt. And here's another little fact for you, yeah, stitchers out there. If you don't do stretches between, you need to, or you're going to end up with that carpal tunnel from staying in positions for too long. So just do wrist rolls and stretches, All right, I'm going to finish this part, and then we will finish up on the back side. Got one more box, and then we'll move on to this section there. I actually think this color is very pretty. What do you think? I love seeing the colors come to life. Starting maybe next week or the week after, I'm going to start doing a counted stitch with me day. Yeah, because I got some in the mail. I just need to get the patterns onto my iPad and show you guys how I put my patterns on there. Okay. I always look to where I can, as you can see how hard this is. Sometimes this is how I end up breaking needles, FYI. So try to be gentle if you can. If you have a heavy hand like I do, just go for it. You probably have a whole bunch more needles anyways. All right, let's get started on the front. All right, so we're gonna start, let's see, probably here, just because I want to go up in this way and then down. I feel like when you're stitching, sometimes it helps to have a plan, especially when you have confetti like this and chunks of color within confetti. It's best to have a plan of where you're going to start. Also, as you could probably tell, this is another way I break needles so much, is because I just want to force that bad boy on into the canvas. All right. Okay, that's nice and secure. There we go. If you haven't noticed, I'm a careful stitcher. I don't like rushing. I feel like if I'm going to invest this much time into a project, I might as well make it look nice and pretty, right? Instead of getting something done for the sake of getting something done. But you can do you, boo. If you want to rush, that's perfectly okay too. If you can stitch fast and make your stuff pretty, have at it, my friend. I cannot, so I don't even bother. And it looks like this pattern over here in the corner, right here, if you look, it's slightly off. Not very much to where you can really notice a difference, but just that red next to the green. But over here, it's okay. So just that one is slightly off. Again, I'm a little too careless. Let's see. Let's go this way. I'm trying to figure out, because if you look right here, that's a different symbol. So I'm just trying to figure out if I wanted to go this way or this way, but I decided I'm going to go and finish up that way. So these little sections like this are kind of nice. That's why I like confetti. When I'm holding my project in my hand, I do smaller sections. If I was on a hoop or a Q-snap, which is very rare, I would probably park multiple stitches or multiple threads, but I am doing just fine. There are some people that don't like restarting and starting and restarting their threads. I don't mind. So for me, I don't mind restarting a stitch in another section to stitch 1, 2, or 3 stitches. Because again, that pin stitch is super easy to anchoring it, that you can kind of get in and out of sections fairly fast. But I'll be starting a large project once my frame comes, It's a little bit of a surprise for you guys. So once my frame comes, it's one that I can sit at. It's going to stay permanently mounted on that frame. It's going to be my one large project I'll work on until it's finished, because it's pretty big size. Let's see. There we go. I'll be parking stitches on that one for sure, because I'm not going to want to keep going over and under because it is such a large project. My daughter today says, Mom, how do you find time to do your YouTube and all your projects with school and everything else going on? And I'm like, I'm not one of those people that go out drinking. I'm not one of those people that go out to places all the time. I find solace and peace in my own company. I've always been that way, because the less people you're around, the less drama you have. I learned that very young. So I rather watch drama on the TV or listen to cold case files or spend time with my kids and my husband or spend my time nose deep in a book, cross-stitching, learning, gardening. There's always stuff to do. I know as humans we thrive on companionship and socializing. However, I think I got burnt out on it when I was younger, just with being in the corporate world and always having to wear a smile, and especially being in an upper management position where I always had to play the referee, and I just really enjoy my own peace. I get to go to work, spend time with my patients for 12, 13 hours a day, and then I get to come home and spend time with my family, do homework, do my crafting and my YouTube, and it don't bother anybody. So it may, for some, it might be a little mundane, but for me, I enjoy it. I pay so much a month for a mortgage, I might as well enjoy my home, right? That's what I always tell people. We spend so much money for housing. Why not enjoy what we pay for? Whether it be outside in the yard, or there'll be times because the weather's getting nicer, I'll sit on the front porch and let my kids ride their bikes, because I am kind of a mama bear. I'll let them ride their bikes up and down on the sidewalk and play outside in the front, and I'll go grab a book or grab one of my projects and I'll sit outside watching them play. So there's never a shortage of things to do for entertainment, in my personal opinion. All right, let's see, where do we have? Let's do it right here. Again, there's no method to my madness of how I close this off. I just close it. As long as it's secure, you got no problems. No problems at all, my friend. Okay. Let's start on our next patch. Let's see, where do I want to go? Maybe here, up, down, and then jump over. So I'll start here. And see, the more pin stitches you do, the more efficient you come at them. I remember when I first started doing mine, man, I would used to slip those suckers every time. So I've learned to go under that top fabric. So right there, if you look, which luckily I got good quality camera now, you see that top layer right there. I would just go under, and then I've learned to aim right in the middle. So right in the middle of the top will go typically right through the bottom. And with that, I have learned to do successful pin stitches now, which thankfully I remember my very, very first project that I did to get back into it is during the panoramic. Um, it was a little turtle. It was like a little kitty one that you're learning to stitch on, and it was a counted one. Boy, that bad boy took me forever to do. So I remember I tried to do a loop stitch, right? Because it was a 14 count. So naturally, you see that thread there? I'm trying to fix that right there. Naturally, what I did was I just did loop stitches or a loop start because I was like, oh, this is easy peasy. I can do this. No, I couldn't, guys, because uh, although my threads stood, they were not taut. So unfortunately, although it was a cute small piece, my threads over time came loose, and I was a little ticked off at myself because I did all that work to do this cute little counted cross stitch, which any of those that are starting off, counted is nice if you want to see the picture come to life, but you need the patience of a saint. I think I'm a fairly patient person. I have not done another counted cross stitch since then, just because I was a little turned off by them. But because I started my YouTube channel stuff, I am going to do my very first counted cross stitch that I haven't done in years. But when you do those counted, like I messed up how I started it, how I finished it. So I didn't want to attempt something that took so much time until I learned to master it. And I feel like with stamped canvases, you can have the time to make those little mistakes, right? Like as you just saw, it wasn't a mistake. It's just I didn't like the way how tight my thread was. So I backed it out and redid it. On a counted canvas, I'm going to be 100% with you. Your girl would have lost her place. So am I slightly intimidated by jumping into the counted cross stitch world? Yeah, for sure. However, I'm up for the challenge. I'm not too afraid. We may be making a lot of errors together, to be honest with you. That's okay. I'm not afraid of mistakes, to be honest. As you can probably clearly see with this week's Stitch With Me's with all the knots and God knows what else is going on. See how pretty those X's are? This is why I don't pull the strands individually anymore, because I like my X's laying flat and creating this really pretty pattern. I feel like, what is going on with that one string? I might have to see that little bit there. There you go. So if you look at my string, there's a little bit of a gap right there. I'm going to have to get that gap out. I like my stitches nice and X. Some people like them fluffier. It depends on what you like for you. I don't like them fluffy. I don't like the way they look. It looks kind of messy. In my personal opinion, I just think they look messy on my canvases. And I feel like when it looks messy, it doesn't look like I've committed as much time to stitching properly, quote unquote properly. So I like pulling all my threads at once. So if it's a 2, I pull 2 threads. If it's 3, I pull 3. If it's 4, I pull 4. I stopped testing out the thread by thread. See, look at how pretty those lay. They lay nice and flat. it got cloudy out, so I had to fix my auto exposure. I had to make the priority of my film exposure. Let's see, maybe we can switch it over to frame rate and see if it'll stop bouncing back and forth. Let's see if we notice a difference here. Probably will, knowing our luck. So I changed it. I see that one thread within this whole thing is going to drive me bananas. Okay, so I need to figure out which one it is. Because see here, it looks good, right? Except for that little loop there. So let me see which one it is. So it's this one here. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist. I'm going to, don't mind me, I'm looking for my wax, guys. Oh, crap. Ah, it's over here. I'm just going to re-wax. And as you can see how nice and pretty that is? Yeah, my wax is beat up, sorry. I use it for everything. Okay, and we shouldn't be having that problem again, hopefully, in our next little section. So we just got done waxing that piece. I feel like, okay, there we go. There we go. So this one I'm only going to do a half stitch because I want it to come over one right here. And then we're just going to come back. Let me see if this will help with our lighting a bit. I feel like that might help with our canvas. And again, it's a little cloudy out, so I'm having to tinker with our lighting a smidge. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm looking back at my live feedback as I'm stitching to see how well I like. There we go. There we go. I turned off the autofocus. I set it to a certain one. And then fix the lighting a bit. One thing I've learned very quickly with Stitch With Me's is that people like to see you actually stitching the boxes. So that was a learning trial in itself, I would feel like. But now, here we are, new camera, figuring out the lighting when it gets cloudy out. So as soon as I'm done with this thread, I think we'll probably wrap this new startup for week 1. What do you guys think? We only got 3 more stitches, so there's that. That concludes this week 1 brand new start of the Stitch With Me for the Beautiful Fairy canvas. Thank you for coming along and spending some time with me while I get a new project underway for us. If you like what you see and you stood till the end, thank you. I really appreciate you doing that. Go ahead and click that subscribe button if you would like, and that notification bell so you can get notifications anytime that I upload new videos. Go ahead and comment what you liked about this stitch with me. If there was nothing in particular, feel free to make suggestions for maybe another stitch with me. If you're one of my subscribers, I hope you enjoyed our approximately 30 minutes of stitching time together. I know we do probably about 2 hours a week, an hour and a half to 2 hours, give or take, together. If you'd like to follow me on other social media platforms, I do have an Instagram. It is stitching_with_Steph. I do have a TikTok. My QR code is located at the end of this video. Go ahead and scan that and it'll take you straight to it. The other option is Stitching with Steph is my handler, or I have a link in my YouTube channel profile. Go ahead and click on that and it'll take you right on over. I am located here in the States, so even if a ban goes through, I use that magical VPN to try to keep my TikTok up and running. So follow me over there. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a great day.